hands across America.
Being in Los Angeles, we definitely got behind on seeing Us this past weekend.
Yes.
But we finally made it to the theater to check out Jordan Peele's follow-up to Get Out.
Yes, and I will say that there is a lot of this movie that I absolutely respect that what Jordan Peele did as far as like setting and the way that things played out in the movie. I respect exactly what he's doing, and I it's more so to the respect as far as like, okay, I see what you're doing, I kind of want to see more, let's keep on going. However, there are a lot of things in this movie that I was like, wait, what? And it kind of took me out a little bit.
And it's the approach of his episodic tale that he tells, which, I mean, you're gonna get that in the Twilight Zone. To me, while I was watching it, it kind of felt like more Outer Limits episode for me, just partly because you dip in, you see this world for an hour when it comes to the Outer Limits episodes, then you get out and you really didn't have a whole lot in terms of looking into a really crazy world and then kind of moving on when the movie's over. And once you start scratching the surface of logic when it comes to the movie, you stop having fun with it because it's a very surface value horror film in the sense that just go with it and just don't try and answer every question in terms of how this is even happening.
Right, and it's basically how each person that we talked to about this movie so far, we're just like, if you want to go see this movie, you want to kind of have a good time with it, take logic out the window, like don't even bring it in, because if you start bringing it in, then you kind of go through a rabbit hole of questions that you have. And granted, I do still have those questions as far as like certain things that happen in the movie. You're like, wait, what, why, how, like what's going on type things. But once you kind of like throw that out the window, then you kind of respect exactly what he was trying to do as far as like, it's a cool premise. I thought that the story itself is absolutely phenomenal and that you can do more with it. And I want to see more with it, and that's kind of like what you want to do. But at the same time, it's like I want this to be a whole story instead of just half a story.
Right.
And that's, I feel like that's what we got. It's just half a story.
In terms of just, there's a bigger picture to all of it, and we're just taking kind of a microscopic look at that bigger picture. At the same time, though, I did love every single performance that was put into this movie when it comes to them playing dual roles, which also the credits, they do something cool with just the font when it comes to that. But I did enjoy them. Every single one played with such intensity to the point where, like, I was in it. I wanted to see how it was going to play out for all these characters. At the same time, though, I did not feel at one point that it was any kind of horror, more so like that Outer Limits type Twilight Zone episodic feel, to where I didn't really feel relieved with the comeuppance that the villains or the antagonists would end up meeting, like I did for Get Out. With Get Out, I was completely just so entranced, so much fun throughout the entire movie, and when things happened, they were awesome moments to the point where the whole theater was cheering. But unfortunately, I just never got those moments with this one. It was more of like that casual watch, and I think when it comes to the horror, if you're kind of like a mediocre type tolerance when it comes to horror film, you're probably not going to get really any scares out of this one at all, which it's cool he didn't rely heavily on like jump scares,
right?
But still, that suspense is definitely there, just not on the level of a crazy horror film.
And it definitely has that horror element to it, but I feel like for me personally, it was a lot more suspense thriller than the horror aspects to it. And the characters themselves too, I mean, there's a lot, like just the main focus on the family was fine. And then when they, like, as soon as they started to kind of branch out a little bit, then that's where it kind of lost me. And I felt like, okay, well, you kind of wanted to contain it, but then it started to grow bigger, and you're trying to grasp at what's going on, and you can't, like, it's like moving and it's reaching out of your grasp to where you can understand what's happening, but you're trying so hard. You're like, okay, well, let me just not think about what's going on and just watch it.
And of course, Jordan Peele, I feel like, made his movie where you want to get angry at the characters for making dumb decisions, and you want to shout out at them, because there are many things that they do in this movie. I'm just like, why are you guys doing this? Just stop. There's no reason for it. Just go. But they don't, and it kind of just brings the movie a little bit to like where it's really just, okay, now you kind of made me focus on it a little too much, as to you're just sitting there in a house full of lights, you know, bright, and there's crazy people outside looking for you, and you're all just playing loud music and the lights are all on and you're just kind of walking around in front of these windows. The story ain't over. We're just halfway through the movie. Like, get to it. And to me, that one was like big and noticeable for me in terms of the film.
And I want to say that I give props and respect to at least this genre that he was trying to create in this horror movie that he was trying to create, because it did make me feel uneasy. And that's kind of what you want from a horror suspense thriller as well. You want to kind of feel uneasy as you're watching, because you're like, oh my god. So that I respect him for that aspect of the movie as well. The
music was pretty cool. There were definitely some beats in there that they mixed with the chorus and the drums that I really loved when they utilized them. It did add a certain ambiance to the film right off the bat. But for that, I would give it high marks when it comes to the things that I really enjoyed. And then the only low mark that I would have to put against it is those moments where it's like, just believe it to believe it in order to get through this movie. And those moments of just kind of, do it, just go, what are you guys, come on. That kind of knock it down for me. So I would give this one a 3.5.
See, for me, because we only got half of the story and I wanted to see more, and I'm still feeling unease because we didn't get those, like, and I'm gonna give it a 3.
3. So 3.5 and 3. What did you guys think if you saw it? Let us know down in the comments below. You can also like and subscribe.
And do the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Threads.
All the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kicking the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on our Patreon. Gets us where we need to go. Also, just recently saw Shazam, so we'll have a review up for that shortly. Be on the lookout for that. So thank you guys so much, and as always,
now it's time to say goodbye.
This party is over. Bye.
Bye.